Hi there, I'm Jeanette, stampingwithsafiandme.com, and today's project is this one. It's a beautiful little box that I have made to measure to fit this gorgeous hand cream, this gorgeous Declure hand cream that I use a lot, but perfect for a Mother's Day present. And also I have made this really cute 3x3 card to fit in the envelopes that Stampin' Up! Do, and I've just decorated this one with the rest of the DSP. Now do remember, all the supplies can be bought from my online shop, and I will list all the products I've used over on my website. It's a really simple project, as I've said. It's suitable for beginners, so I hope you enjoy making it. Anyway, let me just put this to one side and we'll get started. Okay, you don't need that much supplies. We're going to be using the beautiful Tutti Frutti 6x6 DSP. I love this. It's so fresh and it's got such beautiful colours in it, and it actually, the whole suite actually has some really cute little punches to go with it, but that is going to be another project today. The stamp set we're using is going to be the Mother's Flair, because it is perfect for Mother's Day, and that's what this project is all about today. So this one that I made earlier, it's Calypso Coral. It's beautiful, it's fresh. I just really love this colour. It's not one I've really used that much, but yeah, it's beautiful. So all you're going to need for this project, you're not going to need that much at all. You just need a piece of Whisper White, just standard Whisper White, and you're going to cut it to 7.5 by 7 3/8 of an inch. So you're going to need that for your box. You then have, when you've cut it off, you then have that bit remaining, which you can use for all your stamping, and obviously using the Starburst punch as well. So you get all of your stamping and punching done with that. You just need one sheet of 6x6 DSP. That's all it is. You have that little bit remaining. You need two pieces cut at 6 inches by 2 1/8. You just need two of those for the front and back. You will have that remaining, and that's what you will use to decorate your little mini envelope, should you wish to do one of those as well. The only extra little bit that you need is, if you are going to make the mini card, you need to cut yourself just a little piece, 5 3/4 by 3 inches. Now the reason I didn't go to 6 inches on this is because I've got quite a bit of layering on this card. I really like layering. I think it looks super pretty, super cute, and to make sure it actually fits inside the envelope, I've just made it a touch shorter, and it does fit in. So that's the reason for that. So let's just put that to one side. We'll do the stamping last. I think we'll just do the scoring. So let me just put that to one side, and we'll just make up the box first of all. So let me just bring in my scoreboard. And we've got the 7.5 inch side first of all, so that is your long side. So we want to score that at 2 1/4, and then we want to score it again at 3.5, 5 3/4, and 7 inches, and then turn it round, and then we want to score on the short side just 1 1/4 inches and 6 inches, and that's our scoring done. While you've got the scoreboard out, if you did want to score the little card that measures 5 3/4 by 3 inches, and you just want to score that at 2 7/8, that's what I've scored that at. So that's all your scoring done. So I'll just pop that to one side. And then we want to burnish our score lines. Let's get all those It's a really lovely little project. This one, really quick and simple. As I said, I wanted to do something for beginners really, and I do hope you can follow this, because if you can't, do let me know, and I'll think again of something else, but I hope you can. I hope I'm going to explain it perfectly for you. Okay, so you've burnished all of your score lines, and what we want to do is just snip off, grab my snips. We want to take off just this little skinny bit here. Now one side, if I get my ruler, one side is slightly shorter than the other. Now this is so make sure you're taking it off the right one. So this one measures 1 1/4 inches. So that's the one we want to take off. You want to leave on the one that measures, well, it nearly measures 1.5. It's actually, it's only 1/8 of an inch bigger. So you want to leave that one. So we want to cut up here on the score line, and then cut straight across, and then what we want to do is just take a small wedge out of that, and that just makes it so much easier for the box to go together. And then, because this is the bottom of your box, all we're going to do is cut right up to your score line on the remaining score lines here. And then this is the last one. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is just glue on our DSP. So put that one to one side for the moment. So grab these two. Now I'm also going to take myself out of my comfort zone today. I don't tend to use fast fuse, but it's brilliant, and I don't know why I haven't used it sooner. I do use it on the very odd occasion, but not for an entire project. I would probably normally go for the tear tape or the multi-purpose glue, but you know what, for this project it really is perfect. That's really cute as well. I nearly used that side, but I just thought for Mother's Day my mum probably wouldn't appreciate bananas, but I know she would like this beautiful stripe. So the way I find using this, I know some people do have a little bit of a problem with it, but I think each fast fuse is different. Sometimes you need pressure on the sides, and sometimes you need pressure on the top. I do find that they're not all the same. And I also find as well, if you just have a little bit of a mat underneath, it's also easier to use. So let me just see if I can get this working properly, because when it does work, it's fabulous. And of course, I'm filming, so it's not going to. Anyway, it's not too bad. Let me just turn it round. There we go. Sometimes it's a little, when you're using it to start off with, it is a little bit temperamental, but when you've used it, when it's warmed up, I suppose, it's absolutely fine. And then you just do that little flick at the end. I think the only thing about this, you do need to be accurate, because once it's stuck, you're not going to get it off. So you do have to be very accurate. Now we're going to pop this in your larger oblong. Not the side. These two skinnier sides are going to be your sides, and we're not going to put anything on that. So I know if I line up to there that this should fit. And I think if you start at the bottom and then watch one of the sides, it should be perfect. And that is not too bad at all. Yeah, really pretty. Now I haven't scored this because I didn't really want to have a score line on here. If you can see on this one, it's just a really gentle curve. So that's why I burnished all of my score lines to start off with, and then just put the DSP on over the top. So let's see if we can get the fast fuse to work again. And it's quicker. because it's dried instantly. There's no waiting around for drying at all. It is instant. So yeah, I'm really liking this. So it's a new thing for me. I'm also gaining confidence in using new things too. Okay, it is just practice. And then I'm going to start that at the bottom like that. What I'm doing here, I'm just looking at this one. I just want to make sure it's in the same position. And then I'm going to look to the outside there, and then I can I think as long as it's straight, then it'll look absolutely fine. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to punch my holes. And again, if you're unsure, grab a ruler. Always take your time, and you can just put a little mark. In fact, if I turn it that way, then if it's on the inside, then you're not going to see it. So I want to measure the middle. I want to measure this section here, this first section that we actually stuck the DSP on, and I'm just going to measure the middle, and the middle is 1 1/8. So I'm just going to put a little pencil line there, and then I'm going to do the same on the opposite side. So 1 1/8 is that, and I'm going to do it around about 1/2 inch down. So just to make sure we're the same on both sides. If you do it in pencil, then you can always rub these marks out. But they're not going to show, they're on the inside. So I want to mark that there. And then I'm going to use the handheld punch. These are just great. There's only 2 of these. This is a large one, and then you've got a very, very fine one. I can't remember which size it is actually, but I'll bob it on my website, on my blog, so you know exactly the one I've used. And then just punch. So you're just popping it in, lining it up with your guide, and then punching your holes there. And as I said, if you do have any pencil marks, then just grab a rubber and then just rub them out. There's only that little one there. So then we can start putting the box together. You can see if you fold that side down and then you fold your other side, you'll find it matches up. So what we're going to do, this little skinny strip here, we're going to add some more fast fuse, and then we can just fold it together, and it should be perfect. So again, and then that little flick at the end is all the technique you need. So fold that side down, hold that, and then fold that side down, and then stick it together, and you will find that is absolute perfect placement for that. So the next thing we want to do is look at where your seam is, and that's where I've just stuck it down together. So that's the back. So when we're folding in these sides, you want the 2 sides to go in, and then you want that one to go up first and that one to go second. So that is the front of your box, and then you've got the back of your box there. So I'm going to put a little bit of fast fuse on both of these. See if I can do it so you can see as well. So I'm going to put a little bit on that, just double checking. Yep, that's the back of the box, so this needs to go up first. Pop your sides in, and then just gently stick that down. Again, probably put a little bit more on. On this one, and then just guide it to the bottom like that. Now if you find, like I have, that side's perfect, but that side is, there's just maybe just a tiny bit of overlap. Just grab your snips and then just trim it. It's only the very tiniest bit. You probably didn't really need to bother, but if you do have it, just snip it off. It's absolutely fine. Okay, so that's your box nearly done. So what you want to do now is just very gently with your index fingers, just very gently push, and you'll see that it will just go together like that beautifully. And as you can see, that automatically your sides have got this beautiful crisp fold. I didn't want one at the front, so that's perfect, but it just went together by gently just squeezing, and that's all you need to do. So at this stage you want to pop your hand cream in, and it does fit absolutely perfectly. Let me measure it just in case you've got another hand cream that you want to put in and use. In fact, I hadn't even realised, but it even coordinates with this, which is beautiful, even better. Okay, so it measures 2 1/4 by 4 1/2. Perfect for any other hand cream. So that goes in there like that, and then we want to ribbon. This is gorgeous ribbon. It really is beautiful. It's the, let's have a look, it's the metal edge ribbon, and it's white, and it's just got this really lovely hint of a silver border. And because we're going to use some silver foil on our box, then I just thought that just picks it out beautifully. So put yourself a length. If you don't want to tie a bow, you don't have to. You could just tie a knot instead. So I'm just going to make sure I've got plenty, so I'm not fiddling around. That is absolutely plenty. I'm sure this is going to be absolutely plenty, but I just didn't want to spend too long explaining what we're doing. And then you just want to pop it through. See which is the back again. Can't see my seam. Right, that's the back. So this is the front. So pull it through. You might find it does fray a tiny bit, but don't worry about that, because you're going to cut that off. You're going to tidy it up. And once it's tied, it's absolutely fine. Now what I like to do as well, grab something just to keep it hold while I'm tying a knot or a bow, unless you've got somebody else to help you. But I mean, these are gorgeous, these little clips. These are Stampin' Up as well, beautiful these. But have more than one use. So then I tend to turn mine upside down. My bow tends to be the right way up when I turn the box the other way. Don't know why. So just tie that like that. Tie yourself a bow. There we go. And that's gorgeous. That looks really pretty. I really love these fresh colours. And then fiddle around with it until you're happy with it. Probably could have done with being a bit tighter, to be honest. Let me just tie it a bit tighter. And do it without. You can spend all day just doing bows. That's why, if you've got, if you're going to be using the thicker ribbon, oh, there's some beautiful thicker ribbon, then a knot would be absolutely fine. But I think if you're using something finer, like this, then a bow does look better. That's fine, is that? Okay, and then you just want to trim. So I'm going to trim the shorter side first, and it's entirely up to you however long you want to have yours. I think that's about right. And just make sure they're the same. Maybe take make a little flare again, just so they're the same. Okay, so that's our box made. We just need to do some stamping now. Stamping and punching. And one thing that I haven't got out, and I'm hoping I've got it here, is some silver foil. So just bear with me 1 second. Oh gosh, gold foil. No, I do apologise. Just a second. Okay, I have to grab some. I know I've got an offcut somewhere. Here we go. Some here. Got this bit here, an offcut here, so I'll use this. So I'll just put that there. So, right, let's get back and do the exciting bit, the stamping. So, as I said, we're going to be using this Mother's Day, and we're going to be using this beautiful handbag. So I'm using Daffodil Delight just to match the paper. This paper is actually Whisper White and Daffodil Delight. So when you are stamping, you just check when you're stamping, just tap, 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 and then just double check that you have got even coverage. So just have a quick glance at your stamp, and then stamp. And then stamp again, because we need 2 of these. Might as well do them both at the same time if you are going to be doing the card. And stamp around about there, I think. Should be fine. And then Happy Mother's Day. I mean, if you did go wrong, I mean, that's a little bit faint, but I quite like that effect, actually. But you could stamp it again. You're only going to punch it out. So, and then we want Happy Mother's Day. And that stamps beautifully on there. Put those to one side. So the punches that I'm going to be using, these are all from the annual catalogue. This is the 1 3/4 inch punch. So you want to cut those out. First of all, and the second one. Now this one, it's not essential. If you don't have it, that's absolutely fine. But I've used this, and this is the Pretty Label punch, and I've used it and punched it out, and then I've just cut it down. But you can just cut round this. You do not need this punch at all. It's just that if I do have a punch, I tend to use it. I absolutely adore my punches. I love them. I think they're just gorgeous. Right, put that to one side. We're going to need that later though. And then what I've done with this, you can just cut straight across, or if you're really unsure, grab your ruler and your pencil, and then where you can see this little curve here, right here, just put a little pencil mark, unless you can see it. I can't, so I always have to use a pencil mark, and then just draw yourself a line and then just cut straight across. I just like the way it's rounded at both ends. And I had a look at the Classic Label punch, but you can't quite get it all on, so you can't use that. But as I said, you know, you can just cut this in an oblong. You don't have to use this punch tool, and then just use that as a guide. I'm just not very accurate. I'm not very straight, so if I cut freehand, you can guarantee it'd be really, really skew off. So I tend to draw pencil lines, and if you do have lines on it, like I have, just rub them out. Be careful not to smudge your ink though if you're doing that. You could even draw them on the other side really. Okay, so that's that, and the way we're going to decorate it, I think when you first start out with Stampin' Up, these are brilliant. These are the watercolour pencils, and they're just really lovely and easy to use, and I think a great start if you're wondering about blending and colours and things like that. We do have the Stampin' Blends, and I love them as well, but I just think these are slightly easier to use. So I am going to colour in my flowers. We're doing a little bit of colouring. You could do these in a different colour, but I'm using the matching Daffodil Delight. These do come in, there's 13 of these coming in various colours, and Daffodil Delight was one of them. So I'm just going to colour in my flowers, and then I'm going to use my blender pen, and I will show you how I use that. This would be absolutely beautiful, this stamp, if you heat embossed it. I think the bag would actually look like patent leather. So if you are slightly more advanced, I would probably do that. But I think to start off, I mean, it's beautiful as it is, but it would just add that extra dimension. So your blender pen, just make sure, I mean, that's slightly pink on the end, but just make sure that you haven't got any of the other colour coming through. So just give it a quick wipe like that, and then all you're doing, it's probably quite hard to see on camera because it's such a small area, but it's a little bit like, well, it's like watercolour, it's paint, it moves your colouring around and blends beautifully and fills in all those little gaps that you might have just missed. It really is lovely. Probably don't use them enough, actually. Really pretty. And I think what I'm going to do, as on the other one, the leaves, I'm just going to use, this is one of my favourite colours, Old Olive. I'm just going to do the leaves. You might be able to see more on this, actually. So I'm just going down the middle, just putting a tiny little bit like that. And then use the other end. Make sure I don't want to contaminate colours, that would be the last thing you need. And you can see how that just takes that harshness off, and you can just move that colour around. So this is another great item to have if you're first starting out with Stampin' Up, a blender pen and the pencils. Put those to one side. And then my other favourite, one of my other favourites, is my Wink of Stella. I love this, I use this all the time. And I'm just going to put a little bit on the bag. And you might not be able to see it on camera, but it's just picking out. It's beautiful. It's just really glittery and shiny. Really lovely. A little bit on top there. Okay, so the last thing we're going to use to decorate the bag, and that is these rhinestones. Now, Stampin' Up still do these, but they are packaged slightly differently. This is the old style of packaging, so you get them all, but yeah, they don't look like this when they arrive. And all I'm going to do paper piercer is great for this. This is another tool that you would want to put in your on your wish list when you first start out with Stampin' Up, this, because it is brilliant. Great for getting your tear tape backing off, great for picking up your little rhinestones, little embellishments. I use it all the time. Use it for every single project, whatever I'm doing, whether I'm making a card, a bag. There's always a use for this somewhere. Last one. Okay, put that to one side. So let's just do some more punching now. I've got my 2-inch punch and I've got my starburst punch. If you do have the dies, then great, use those, the stitch framelets, as everybody knows if you've been watching my tutorials. They are my favourite, but it's all about punches today and all about people starting out with Stampin' Up, so you probably won't have the big shot or any of the dies. So I've purely stuck to the punches, which are less expensive and quick, really quick to use. So Starburst punch, you want a couple of the Whisper White, and you want a couple, the 2-inch punch, you just want to punch yourself a couple in the foil, whether you're using silver foil or gold foil, or this beautiful champagne foil as well. I think I've used all mine, I need to order some more of that. So the next thing you're going to use, and again is a must for your starter pack, are the dimensionals. I use these all the time and they just give that added lift, just that added dimension. That's probably why they're called dimensionals, but to all of your projects. Again, and these come in a mini dimensional as well if you're doing some smaller projects. And you just peel the backing off and then just centre it on the foil, and then a couple more on the back. And then put that on your starburst, like that. And then this one. Put it in the middle, and then a couple more on the back. Couple more, quite a few dimensionals on these. Right, and that's the card that we scored earlier. So just fold that in half. Burnish your score lines. Take one of these. And I actually thought this would be really perfect if you wanted to purchase maybe some flowers or something like that. You could just put this, you know how sometimes florists, they give you, don't they, the little cards to put with them. Well, obviously you can make your own, which looks a lot better, so that's so sweet. And then this one, yeah, let's just put this in the middle, and that will go in the middle like that. And then this just needs a little glue dot. Again, you need your paper piercer. Oh, where's it gone? Oh, it's staying. cannot believe things just go missing, constantly go missing. Here we go, put it to one side. And then put that on the back. And this just wants to tuck in under there. You want to be able to see the happy, so I think about there. So that's your box completed. And now all we've got to do is finish the envelope. So Stampin' Up! Do these really beautiful, they do a few envelopes, but these I absolutely adore. They're just 3 by 3, really beautiful mini envelopes. And they are really lovely and easy to use. And then you've got your remaining bit of DSP, so you can just cover it and it just looks so nice. So I'm just going to grab a bit of paper, put that on there, and the easiest way to do this, glue. Let's use this again, let's use Fast Fuse, and then put some all the way around the outside. Make sure it's on the bottom bit as well, plenty on, and then stuck to the paper now. And then just stick this over the top and then just cut round it. I found that's the way, well, that's the way I do it anyway. I just think, for me, that's the easiest way. So I'm just looking at this top line and just lining it up and then sticking it down like that. And then I'm just going to cut around it. No science to it or anything, it's just simple as that. And perfect for Mother's Day. So I will be able to use both of these. So that's it. And there you have. Beautiful little card, 3 by 3, to go with some flowers, and some beautiful hand cream and box to go with it. Anyway, I do hope you like that project. As I said earlier, all the supplies can be bought from my shop. If you go to www.stampingwithsafiandme.com, and also don't forget about Celebration. It's only on until the end of March, and if you spend £45, then you can look through the Celebration brochure and choose yourself a free project, a free item. And there's some beautiful items in the Celebration brochure, so don't forget to have a look at that. So I hope you enjoyed that today. I hope you were able to follow that, and leave me any questions, any comments, or ask me any questions. I'm always happy to help. Anyway, thank you very much. Bye bye.